I am your host, keepingupwsharee, and we have a variety of topics that we're going to talk about. So this one's really going to put the icing on the cake for real, because we was talking about it a little bit before we started. But I have a co-host here, as you can see, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we'll just dive right into it.
Okay, so I'm Destiny. I'm new to this, so don't quote unquote me if I get it a little wrong, but I'm here and we're surviving. But I'm Destiny and I'm here with Kiera and we're just gonna talk about a few things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a couple things. We know what we're talking about, but y'all don't know what we're talking about. So we're talking about the importance of forgiveness, the importance of accountability when it comes to your friendships, family, and relationships. And then we're also talking about the process of learning to be okay with being alone and within your own company.
I feel like the importance of forgiveness is, it may take a lot for somebody to, in general forgive someone, but I feel like you being a person on your own and just understanding why you're forgiving them is a whole level or a whole different level of maturity because no matter if they want to forgive you at the end of the day, you forgave them, and so
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't stick with you with having the guilt in your heart, like, dang, I didn't forgive them, so now this is going to stick with me forever. And I just
Yep.
feel like, forgiving is very important in general, regardless if it's within you or just, forgiving somebody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So importance is, I feel like it should be a very big thing that should be talked about because I don't feel like it gets talked about enough. Because I don't feel like, well, with me and my generation, a lot of people just like to stick around with hatred. And I feel like when you stick around with hatred, it just doesn't get you far in life.
It does
So,
not. It really don't.
yeah, like, I'd rather you forgive me and I forgive you than both of us be stuck around here, mad in this bubble with what we did with each other and, like, just trying to go with life and knowing that it's bothering me. I'd rather just forgive you, you know?
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. I'm actually going to touch on what you just said. The importance of forgiving. I feel like it does help you not like feel guilty in a way. But another reason why I think it's important to like forgive people is because it's not really like in their favor. So don't think that just because you're forgiving somebody that person got the upper hand on you. No, you forgiving them is actually helping you bring yourself peace regardless. So depending
Right.
on like, the situation and stuff like that, because, we were talking about our own thing before we started, but like with my situation that I was explaining to you, like, even though, like I said, me cutting them off and things like that, made me feel better, it actually did bring me overall peace because as we was talking about, dealing with people like that really does drain your energy. And
Yeah.
like I said, also me working as a mental health tech, that takes a lot off of my mental as well. Like there is a part of where like you are sane and then it brings insanity because you're so
Yeah.
worried about everybody else's mental health. You don't have time to be worried about you. So when you have to learn to forgive somebody, you're holding on to that problem, that grudge, and that animosity that you probably
Mhm.
have with that specific person or group that you're really just causing self-destruction to your own self.
You say you're
Yeah.
bringing more insanity on you to not forgive
Mm-hmm.
them than to forgive them and get, like, gain your sanity back within yourself.
Yes. Because you'll be
And
sitting there thinking about it like, damn, they really had me fucked up. Like, they had me over here all tight in my skin, blood boiling, like on 10, just pissed off. But the second you forget, and forgiving somebody also isn't an aspect of you saying, I forgive you. Like,
right,
there's things that, has happened in my childhood upbringing where it's like, I've never verbally said that I forgave those people, but I forgave them for myself. So that's me
right,
telling myself that I forgave them. So you don't have to verbally tell somebody that you forgive them because you can still love somebody from a distance. That's how I
right.
am with my family. Like, I love and care for them. And, I want them to do well and be successful in all things that they do. But because of how they are, I, for my own peace and forgiveness within myself, have to love y'all from a distance. I forgive you, but I'm not going to also verbally tell you that I forgive you
Right.
because, like I said, you also don't want people to think they got that bigger upper hand because I promise you that is not the case.
You tell them or not, like you said, within yourself, I have finally accepted it for what it is, and I
Yeah.
want peace. I want peace. So regardless if I tell you I forgive you or not, I know that I forgave you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that matters because it's about me. And that's where the whole, like, mental health comes in too. Like,
Right.
this is my mental health. So I rather forgive you and be okay and have my mental okay than me sit here stuck up, stubborn, and try not to forgive you and have all this hatred in my heart towards you because of what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. No, I'd rather just bring my peace back.
Yep. And that can we also talk about how hard it is to bring your peace back? Like,
Yeah,
yes, you can forgive people, but like the gaining piece, I feel like that's hard because, like, yeah, you
it
forgave
is.
them, but I feel like there's also a part of you that's never truly over that situation. But that's also because I feel like it's an experience. So, like, the saying that I go by is like some people are in your life for a season, and then some people are in your life for a lifetime. Meaning, like,
Mhm.
when people come into your life, some people are in your life to teach you something. Some people come in your life to help you grow from something, and then
Yep.
some people are in your life for a long period of time to help you continue to grow and to grow with you. So that's kind of like
Right.
what I think about. I can't remember who said that saying. It was some sort of actor or something, but I think I connected with that a lot because of like its meaning to me. Like whenever I hear things, I think of it on like a different level, like a deeper
Right.
like
Yeah.
point of view. So that's what I kind of go by. But it is hard getting back to that peaceful aspect though, because of course you can forgive, but like I don't know, you'll just always
And that,
remember.
yeah, and and like how you said, I love this saying. It's not easier said than done, just
Yeah, that's
because.
another good one. That's another good one.
Yes, because you're still always gonna have that in the back of your head, like, oh, damn, they treated me so shitty. But then you
Yep.
have that, like, well, I understand they did that, but I have to get over it and just go about my life.
Mm-hmm.
But when I feel like people, I feel like a lot of people take their time to understand them backing their self away from a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, oh, I'm going to continue. I know I'm physically or mentally getting hurt, but I have the benefit of the doubt for them. So I'm
Yep.
going to feel like, oh, hey, if I go back, maybe something's going to change. Not saying everybody won't change or some will. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of the times people just take, you know, I need to see what's going on. I need them to understand my point before they fully just be like, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with that. And then by that time, now they're in the loop and they're
Yep.
draining themselves mentally because they want to know
Mm-hmm.
what's going on instead of trying to draw themselves away from the situation and work on them.
Exactly. And
And
then I also feel like once you get to that loop level of like what you're talking about, I feel like once you get there, it's also kind of hard to get out of that because now you're
yes,
stuck in your mind is constantly going about. That's that kind of like overthinking thing where you're starting to think about
yeah,
different scenarios and like what could go wrong, what could go right, or if I don't do this, what's going to happen when I do this. Like it'd be hard to get out of that aspect.
exactly, and I can't even lie. Like, I just had a situation where I was on and off with this person for 2 years,
Okay.
and we it just felt like I was trying to get more clarity from her than the situation.
Okay.
Meaning, like, I just wanted to understand why I was being treated the way that I was being treated by her instead of looking at the bigger picture like, okay, she has showed me multiple times that she doesn't care. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to say that she didn't care, but basically being like, it is what it is. Like, she had that mentality of if it happened, it was over with. Like, if she did it and she says she did it, then there's nothing else to speak on about it. But then that's not fair to me because I'm
Right.
the one over here overthinking and trying to understand it when I really should have just backed myself away from the situation and gained the
Mm-hmm.
peace. And I was in that loop for a very long time. Like I said, it took me 2 years to understand that. Okay, no, I'm going insane. I'm going insane. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing sleep. I'm not eating. I'm, getting sick. No, and while she's over here, happy living, doing whatever. So why draw
Yep.
that upon me when I could be doing the same thing?
But it was traumatizing to me in the aspect because like the way that I communicate, it kind of like
Mm-hmm.
shifted because like I'm also someone who's very vocal and likes to like communicate. I do. I like to talk things out and things
Yes,
like that. But when it came to being in a relationship with that person,
you
they made
couldn't
it
be
hard.
that.
They definitely
Right.
were the I don't care, the nonchalant, like I don't want to talk about it,
Mm,
or we're not going to do this today. Like, and then you could call them and like they're not going to answer, and I'm like, you're driving me like literally insane. Like I'm trying to talk to you and you're avoiding me. But was
yes,
still like the one thing about it personally, and we're gonna take this topic and dive into the accountability aspect.
yes.
I thought that I was the problem in the relationship because of like what he would post. So he would post about like basically quotes that just talk shit about girls,
Right.
hoes, this, that, and the third, and would find them
Yeah.
funny. And then I'm like, well, if I'm supposed to be with you, but this is how you're presenting yourself on social media, that makes me feel played and that makes me feel stupid. And that
Right.
makes me not want to be around you nor see you or even be with you. But then
Right.
because of that gaslighting, manipulation, and all of that shit that took place as well, it started to make me feel worthless. Like it made me feel like okay, maybe I don't deserve love. Maybe I don't deserve to be happy, this, that, and the third, because I'm the problem. And every time I would address a problem or bring it to that person, like they would just make me feel like literal shit. And so,
Mhm.
like, it took you some time to get out of that situation and figure out how to bring yourself peace. It also took time for me to do that as well. But it also took me time to figure out what my accountability played in that role. I self isolate when I am in my feelings or upset about something. But the
Mhm.
reason why I personally self isolate is because I'm trying to like understand my emotions,
Understand it.
also
Mhm.
reflect on the third. So when I self isolate, it's not in a way of me trying to be disrespectful. It's not in a way of me like trying to like not talk to you, this, that, and the third. It's because I'm trying to figure out me. And like kind of like
Right.
how you were saying before, you got to make sure you're straight before anybody else can make sure you're straight or love you or like any, the list goes on.
Right. Yeah.
So when it came to that situation and it came to figuring out where my accountability is in it, it was realizing that it was one sided. So
Mhm.
I cared. I wanted,
But
to be, whatever. I wanted us to be cool and, the relationship.
mhm.
But he was so focused on the aspect of, well, I like you. I want to spend time with you, but I also want to do what I want to do. And I was like,
Right.
well, ain't that some bullshit? Because if you want to
Right.
go
So
do
he basically wanted his cake and eat it too.
yourself, but don't be dragging me along with it. And then the mixed signals and, making you
Mhm.
play like sometimes he would be a complete and total sweetheart and the next day he could be a complete and total asshole. And then I'm over here in
Right.
the pocket and like I'm crazy when I finally decided to pop off and cuss him out. Like it's a lot. And then the accountability aspect when it comes to relationships is it has to be both people putting accountability in. The victim,
Right.
posted at you. You decided to go out. You decided to go out to eat with another girl. You decided to go take pictures with another girl. You decided to go smoke with another girl or get drunk with another girl and be in her bedroom instead of the third. When it comes to taking accountability, I feel like in a relationship wise, everybody should be able to take accountability for what they fuck up on and be able to
Right.
like communicate and reflect from that. When it comes to family and accountability, a lot of people ain't finna like me for this one, but sometimes family's wrong. I'm sorry. It's
Yes.
like
Oh my
family,
gosh.
yes, they will think they have your best interest at heart and be complete and totally wrong.
Family can be a pain in the ass, and like
Right,
you said,
literally.
some people might take that as, offensive or whatever you want to call it. But family is not always right, and they
They're
can
not.
also be the narcissists, they can be the manipulators, they can be the liars, they can be all of that. It's
Oh, you're
not
so
just,
right.
yes, it's not just always relationships. It
Mm-hmm.
can be friendships, relationships, your parents, your auntie, your uncle, your daddy, your dog, your fit. It don't matter
Even the
what it
dog. It
is.
really can be the dog.
Because
Now,
why would you just sit over there and do that? And now you want to look at me crazy because I'm cussing you out for just peeing on the floor. Why would you do that? Now you want to look sad.
now you want to look at me like I'm out of pocket for yelling at you for pissing. Like, I'll be damned.
Exactly. So yes,
What?
I definitely agree on that. And I also want to touch back. I know this is going back a little bit, but I love how you said something about the the isolation, because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the time people take that and run with it, meaning
Yep,
like they think it's a
that's very
bad thing,
true.
so they'll go behind your back and be like, oh, she's doing this or she's doing that, she's claims she don't want to talk to somebody. Okay, well, little do you know, I'm in my bed trying to figure out what the hell I'm fixing to do with my life because of what you
Exactly.
did, because of what
Mm-hmm.
you did, and then you want to turn around and try to flip the script on me being the narcissist and the manipulator and
Yep.
making it seem like I'm wrong for feeling the way that I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that's exactly what happened with who I was with, meaning she was out here, how you said, like him going out to eat with different girls or going to get drunk with a different girl. She was doing the same thing to me, meaning coming home to me, but then leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning to go with a different girl. And then when I
Oh, you
said something
damn.
about it, yeah,
It's
like,
not
and then
funny,
when
but
I
I be
said
damned. That's
something
some
about
fucked up
it,
shit.
Yeah, and then when I say something about it, it's a why are you tripping on me? This and that and the other. And then that's when the lies come in. Oh, I love you so much and I would do this and I would do
Not
this
the
and,
love bombing, the love bombing though. That's crazy.
yes, like it just threw me for a whole loop, and that's really when I was like, okay, I have to gain self control of learning me than stop, trying to stay here and keep continuing to hurt myself over
Right.
and over again. No, I just, and a lot of times people like their cake and eat it too. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
sit around and let you eat your cake and eat it too. I'm fixing to get on.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get on. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. You go and get your karma by myself. And I feel like a lot of that's another one too. Karma plays a big role, and I really believe in that.
I
Like
do
I'm
too.
a I'm a firm believer on karma, and it doesn't matter how it comes around. Whatever they say,
I believe in
whatever
good
goes
karma
around comes
and
around.
bad karma. I really do.
Right. So like, I just feel like when it comes down to self isolation, that is kind of the best for some people. Just because not everybody knows how everyone is, some people blow up, some people like to argue, some people like this.
Right.
I rather self isolate myself and calm down than argue with you and waste my breath when I know it's not going to change anything.
Exactly. I do like how you touched on that. Definitely do. You hit a lot of good points. But another thing that I want to talk on is because we kind of already talked about like the accountability with like relationships and friends. So I do want
Mhm.
to touch on family just a little bit more. Like how I was saying, like family isn't always right for real. And to touch on family is because I don't know if like how your household was, but like for example, like I was always told that nobody's attitude in the house mattered but my mother's. So if you was
Mhm.
pissed off about something, like you had a bad day, like you needed to go to your room and figure it out. If you wasn't ready to talk about it or you didn't want to talk to them about it, they would instantly get pissed off and be like, "Well, okay, if you're gonna have an attitude, then go to your room."
Mhm.
So you can say nothing but a word because me and the snap finna get along real well,
Right.
real well. I be
And
having to
I'm
tell
glad
people me and
that,
my dad get along real good. Never
yeah,
disappoint.
like I'm glad you said that because I can't even lie. My dad is like that. My dad
Oh,
is the type of
yep.
person where, regardless of what you say, it doesn't matter how it goes, he's right. No matter what,
That's my
it doesn't
mom.
matter.
That's my mother.
Yes, literally, like, and and that's where another part of my self isolation comes in. That I was taught like chin up, chest out, regardless of
Yep.
what it is, chin up, chest out. Like,
hmm
and I feel like that's why I'm so hard bodied as a person now. Not
Yeah.
saying your feelings don't matter, but when it comes down to you know me speaking to somebody, because literally like people tell me all the time your tone is very aggressive, but that's all I know you
I've been
know
getting told that too.
literally like literally that's
Same.
all I know. And it's not me being mean to you, it's not me trying to disrespect you, but what I have learned and what I've grown up around, it was always it is what it is. Like you
Yep.
either take it and run with it and accept it, or you're just ass out of luck. So
Yep.
what I'm finna do is take my ass in my room and go to bed, and I'm not finna hear
hmm
nothing else about it.
Right. Another thing I feel like I guess since our upbringings were pretty much the same, let me know if you like connect with what I'm about to say. So because
Yeah.
of like how my mom was, since you saying your dad was similar, because how my mom was like that, I also gained an independence for myself and
Mhm.
my emotions as well. So like, yeah, I was talking about like, oh yeah, I like to communicate and talk things out and this, that, and third. Now, but back then, 16 to like 18-year-old Kira, she did not give a fuck. Because the second that like I got kicked out, because I did get kicked out when I was pretty young, I made some bad decisions. I ain't gonna lie, but I also feel like because parents think that they're so right and they will not see accountability, it makes your child sneaky. It makes your child rebellious. It makes your child have an I don't give a fuck mindset because that's exactly what I had. She would call me worthless. She would call me sensitive.
Mhm.
She would call me everything in the book. Like I'm talking about the words that would like diminish your character as a child, especially with your mind
Right.
being undeveloped already. Like I'm talking about
Mhm.
words that stick with me to this day. Like if I ever hear
Mhm.
somebody else worthless off rip, I wouldn't say that it's triggering for me, but I would say that I'm down to say something if somebody calls somebody else worthless because that word really does hold power for real. Like
Right.
I was trying to be like there was a time
Right.
where I literally went to my mother's room and asked how could I be a better daughter for you? Like what
Mm.
child has to go to their parent and ask how to be a better child for them. The parent should be going to the child asking, how
Yes.
can I provide for you more? Like, yes, I'm
Right.
not saying, we didn't have hardships or that my life was always hard. No, but there were certain mental and emotional neglect that I did deal with as a child, which changed me into who I am
Yes.
today. So I just feel like family needs to take more accountability and tend to your child's needs, because you need to
Mhm.
understand your words, your actions, and how you run your household does affect the child that you're trying to get to grow up. I was donating plasma,
Yeah.
shit, just to fucking survive as an 18-year-old girl. So it humbled me, it
Right.
taught me a lot, but I feel like because I've grown from that experience, family just needs to realize y'all faults. Because at the end of the day,
Yes.
don't tell me that, oh, you just want an apology. No, I want you to take accountability and say, yes, you did do this. Yes, what you did was
Mm.
fucked up. Yes, what you did changed my overall thought process on life.
Yep.
I will see, like, this is so sad. I will see kids and their mothers out doing shit, and I will get sad low key, because it's like, that's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
But you just thought so low of me that it made me think low of myself. So when I was
Mhm.
18, like I meant, I didn't circumstances, I didn't care. Smoking, drinking, going to the club, going to parties, staying out late, highly intoxicated, throwing up everywhere. I did not care at all.
Right.
Because I wanted to not feel sad. I didn't want to feel anything. So
Mhm.
I wanted to just be numb to everything that I personally was going through. So be better than me.
Right.
Don't be like me, but be better than me. Because that's why I feel like family needs accountability, so their child doesn't go through those certain type of things.
I have my mom and my dad,
Uh huh.
meaning I have them physically, but I don't have them mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is my dad, like, how you said your mom is, my dad's one of those who uses those triggering words and gets
Yep.
hard with everything that he says, like he's sensitive, I'm lazy, I'm this, I'm that. And then here's my mom on the other side where, yeah, it really, whenever I would come to her and be like, Mom, like, you don't treat me how a daughter is supposed to be treated. You always want to cuss me out. You want to fight. You want to do this. You want to do that. And she never was the type, neither one of my parents are the type to take accountability for what they do. It's, you're my child and that's what it is.
And
And
I hate
I and that's why, like, another part that plays on why I do self isolation, because when I did open up to you and tell you what it is what it is. I don't care, like, this is what I'm sticking to, and you feel how you feel about it. But they've never been the type to take accountability for anything they do. Now, my mom, on the other hand, she's not one of those, oh, I'm gonna, say words to you that makes you feel bad. That's all my dad. My dad's
it.
gonna be the hardcore parent that does all that. When I tell my mom, like, she's one of, she doesn't take accountability, but when I need her and she knows I need her, she's gonna be there. My dad, no. It's never been like that with him, and I don't think it ever will be.
Damn.
Um.
Oh shit.
So yeah. I feel like accountability in that, and it's a very big word, and a lot of people don't use it because they feel like they don't have to use it. They feel like you're gonna get over it, or if you don't get over it, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Um. But I and me with, like how you said, it basically molded you into being the person that you are.
Mm-hmm.
I take the kind of, I'm one of those that take, I'm a very open book with anybody. I don't care what it is. If we're talking about sex, drinks, the color purple, I'm going to
Shit, me
tell you
too. I'm an
how I
open
feel
book.
about it.
I listen.
Yes. Literally, like, I am a open book just because I watch what I watched my parents do to me and treat me. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be totally different from you than how you were treating
Oh, I
me.
feel that. I feel
So,
that on a whole different level. Like
yes,
that shit.
so
Yes,
it's
to
like,
T.
yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very hard body. I have, a guard up over me. And that's not even just because of my parents. That's from
Right.
friendships, that's from friends, that's from relationships. So yes, does it take me a minute to be like, okay, well, let me sit down and put my pride to the side and do this and take back, accountability for my actions. But at the end of the day, I know what it is to take accountability because I never had someone around me to take accountability. So why not break that and be like, okay, let me just be the person that I need to be instead of trying to be like other people.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love, like, that you spoke on the parent thing, because I swear my parents can never take accountability for anything that they do, or just family in general. But
Right, and
I never
sometimes it's
really
not even
had.
parents. It can be the whole family, to be real.
Exactly, and I never really had my, like, family to be
Hmm.
around, because my parents ain't never been the type to bring us to family functions, or like get to meet them or anything like that. So all I know is my parents.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I know the family, but I don't know the family to be like, oh, I can depend on them and be like, oh, I
Right.
can call them at any time. No, I don't know that. I only know my parents, so I only know from what two people have basically been around me, and I've learned from them.
Yep. I feel you on that. I really do. Because when it comes to like my family and stuff, like I knew like, okay, growing up, I have a sister, okay, but like
Hmm.
growing up, I could never, really be around her or anything like that because of how my parents felt about my father. So
Right,
I didn't even build a bond with my sister until like early beginning of 2023, end of 2022, and by then
right.
we're grown. So it's just like,
Exactly. We
now she
missed
has
our
a
whole
baby
childhood.
now. Yeah, she's got a baby now. She's grown. She's living her life. And it's just like, just imagine like how different I do at least think about how different my life could have went if I did have my sister in my life. Like, yes, I have
Hmm.
my other siblings. I'm the only girl aside from my sister on
Yeah.
my dad's side. I'm the only girl, so like I have all brothers. So one thing about me that a lot of people actually, for some reason, don't like. I kind of, I guess they think I resemble more of like acting like a dude than a girl. But like, let me explain
Me.
why
Me.
that's the case. So like playing the game or like playing basketball or throwing a football, shit like that, that's what I did with my siblings. So when it came to that, like, of course I grew up to like doing that shit. But I mean,
Right.
in the same breath, like, also how I dress. That's another thing. Like I like graphic tees, cargo pants, nice shoes, shit like that. Like that's how I be wanting to dress. And then like I
Right.
also have like that girly like little sprinkle of moments where like I want to wear like my cute outfits and shit, like heels and shit like that. But mainly like I'm the type of girl that like rather be comfortable than uncomfortable. I'll say that's why I'm blue in the face. I'd rather be comfortable than uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I will throw a hoodie and sweatpants on and some
What?
slides in a
Who you
heartbeat and
telling?
still look good doing it. I be damn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally. Literally. And I love that you brought like what would have been different if I had a certain somebody in my life. My like white side of the family, they kind of like took that the wrong way, if you get what I'm
Mm.
trying to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they took that the wrong way, and so and all my mom's kids are mixed. Like, we have black in us, all of us.
Okay.
And it kind of like bothers my mom and my dad in a kind of way, because when they figured out that all my mom's kids had black in them, they were kind of like, I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Oh, damn. That's so fucked
And
up, though.
so, yeah, and so it's like, we never had like the opportunity to meet my mom's side of the family. Now, don't get me wrong, I know my grandma and I love her to death, but like
Mm-hmm.
the rest of them, like, the cousins, the aunties, I didn't have that. Oh, I can go to them and just be like, this is my family, because they didn't like us because
Mm-hmm.
we were black, or whatever the case may be. And now, don't my black side of the family, they're all about who has the most money. They want to be in competition with each other. So that's why I was, like, where touch bases, as I didn't have my family and I only knew my parents,
Mm-hmm.
because it is, the family stuff never worked. So I couldn't, like you said, what would have been different if I knew them? Like,
Right.
maybe my life would have been this, or it would have been that.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like, I feel like if I had my sister and, like, grew up doing more, like, girly things, like, yeah, I had Barbies and shit, but, like, I barely ever played with them because I didn't have another girl to play with. So, like, when it
right,
came to asking my brothers, oh, do you want to play Barbies? Fuck no.
right, they're looking at you
No,
like, what the
I
fuck
don't.
are
But
you
you want to hop in
talking
the game real
about?
quick? Like, okay. I guess, like,
Right.
I'm just saying, like, but with that though, even though like people may think about it differently, like how my story is different, but like we have our similarities with our upbringings and
Hmm.
stuff. At the end of the day, They're not gonna like what I'm about to say. I don't really think it's ever the kid's fault, because if you think about it in a way, you brought that kid into the world. So if
Right.
you decided to go onto a different path that you didn't support, or the kid decides to be rebellious towards you, it's 9 times out of 10 the parents' fault,
Your
because you're the
fault.
one raising them and teaching them how to go about life. And then at the same time, like, yes, you may want what's best for your daughter. You don't want her to go through what you went through, and that's fine and dandy. Shit, shacks in the thirds, okay? But what you're
Right.
not going to do is pressure me into a career path that I don't want to do.
With listening to you and, just in general with this whole life thing, take life as a lesson and learn
Yes.
from it. Life is too short to sit here and worry about this and worry about that. It will be handled regardless if it's in that time or the next time.